For those who arrived now, my name is Yassi Rios. For those who did not know me, feel very welcome for our breakfast. We are starting. We have already a few people watching us in our virtual room. Our meeting here is happening in Sao Paulo and in some other countries of the world that are colleagues from the Ericsson International that are interested in the same theme. And they have invited their own contacts to be present. So we don't know how many people will be watching us. Okay, or maybe I'm talking too loud. So we don't know how many people are watching us from abroad, but maybe in the middle of the morning during the Q&A, let's say, with the lecturers and with you, there may be other people participating from abroad. In some other countries, it's still early in the morning, right? Well, just like in Canada and China, and so I don't know. Uh, so they said, why don't you do this during lunchtime? So that's why we we used our breakfast. So let's see our agenda for today. If everything works out fine, it will work out. Only technology might bother us. The rest works okay. So we are planning to start our morning. So keep enjoying your breakfast. The service will continue with replenishing. And then we will have a short institutional presentation of our school. So the personality that is here, that is talking to you, not only representing IMR, but representing Ericsson International, because we are starting to celebrate all over the world the Coaching International Week. Please raise your hands, all coaches. And so HR that are coaches, come on, Joaquin, come on. So many HR people are coaches. Who is not HR here that work at companies but is a coach or was trained? So we also have those people. So this is the profile we have all over the world. So we are celebrating the International Coaching Week. So we are a little late because it has already started. So we always do some event similar to this one, close to or in the middle of the International Coaching Week. It's done all over the world. It's an initiative by ICF. Also, it's always a great pleasure for us to participate in this kind of movement because we are uh, using this practice that is so welcome all over the world, which is coaching. So this practice has been so welcomed all around the world, especially in Brazil. And we are just a little child in terms of a professional practice. I will elaborate a little bit upon this. This is a very young practice. It's not like other professions. It's not a regulated profession, and that's why it creates lots of polemic issues. Right now, there is a bill that is being prepared of a federal representative from the northeast of Brazil. His name is William Rezende. His bill of law is proposing the criminal criminalization of coaching. His intention is good. So he wants to criminalize of bad coaching practices. He says since it's a new profession, there are many people that are calling themselves coaches, and whenever a new profession is welcomed in the market, there are many people who want to take advantage of this, and so he needed in order to have this in order to have this become a law, he needed 20,000 signatures for his request. Right now, he has 24,000. And so I invited some of the lecturers to stay with me here, and there will be a newspaper, the Estado de São Paulo newspaper, that will have a report on us. But the way it is announced, it creates a lot of confusion. So it doesn't solve this misunderstanding, because he says that this practice can only be exerted by duly trained people. And since it's not a regulated profession, it would be difficult to say how to call this a profession. Just like consulting. So, how do we select a good consultant? Just like a physician, a doctor, which is a well regulated and inspected profession. So, how do we choose a good physician to send our children to? So he must have a medicine diploma, of course. He must have experience. But just if it were just that, we would use just a catalog, a directory. Actually, we rely on referrals, and coaching is the same thing. So my position towards this bill of law, since it's not a regulated profession, and I am not defending or proposing the regulation of the profession. I think the market will regulate itself, but this bill should be better thought of. So participate, be aware, participate whenever you can. Those that have had the training at our school, they know what a good professional is. Those that did not attend our school have all the information from ICF to take a good standing about this. And we are at your disposal to talk about this if you want to deepen this kind of thinking, how to position yourselves as the stalwarts of this profession, like the ones that will, let's say, take care of the profession. A second message, an introduction. I will introduce not an online speech by Marilyn, but yesterday she she's still in Canada. She's still sleeping, and so she recorded a video, and that's what she did. And then later on, if she wants to participate in the Q&A session, okay, she will talk about something that is not usual for those who know her. And that's what we are going to start with. And then I will present you in a summarized way a survey that has been going for 5 years. It's coordinated by ICF and carried out by Survey Institute, Human Capital Institute. And this international survey, which has been going for 5 years, as to how have companies been using coaching. It's very interesting, the result of this survey, because after 5 years of experience, and generally they survey between 4 and 500 high performance companies which participate in the survey. And during that experience, the survey identified some very interesting indicators that qualify and distinguish one company from another. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning. I will present you some data from the survey from 2018, and then and I invited three companies that have such indicators, some of these indicators, that will show you what they're doing regarding the use of coaching within their own organizations. And they are leading edge companies. We have SAP. I don't know if you have heard of this little company, and Ashe company, and also another one, Toyota. I don't know if you have heard of this. So they are leading edge companies in their own industries. So these leading edge companies are pushing forward the new uses of coaching inside corporations. And then after the three presentations by the three companies, we will have a Q&A session and interaction session to chat about this. Okay? All right. First of all, before showing Marilyn video to justify the issue she's going to broach on, 2 weeks ago we had an international meeting of Ericsson School, but the most important meeting that takes place every year, we had 350 to 400 participants in Antalya, Turkey, and this is a kind of movement called uh, World Game, and our students know this. What is this World Game? It's an initiative by Marilyn Atkinson, the founder of the school, that reached a point where in her life that she embraced another purpose that is very similar to what she had been following since the beginning, but not only attached to the training of new professionals in the practice and living with the principles behind the coaching practice, but she wanted to expand this even further. So she started a movement called World Game, which means we have developed some skills and we cannot use these skills only for professional uses. So she challenged us to share these skills and competencies in all areas of our community, of our society, the way that each one could do. And so she started provoking this. And so we started replicating this movement, each one in its own country. One of them was here last year, inviting people from all areas of society. We taught some skills and we invited some of these people to reflect on how this could help them in their own industries, in health, in education, public service where coaching skills can make a huge difference. I remember we had here the presence of Dr. Gonzalo Pesina. He was the director of Sidio Libanese Hospital. I went there, explained what coaching was, uh, showed him a case, and then he said, I'm going there. So he came here uh, and he talked about the advantage he saw if coaching were used in the health area. And he said, if physicians had some of these skills, the line, waiting for a visit to the doctor would be much smaller. So this movement expanded all over the world, and every year we have an international meeting, and then each country brings its new experiences. And here in Brazil, I chose, maybe through personal affinity, the area of education, especially girls from 8 to 12, because when we impact a girl that age, each year she will postpone her pregnancy. For each year of study, she will postpone her pregnancy 1 year further in future, because when she does become a mother, she'll be better prepared, and her son will have a better support from her mother. So if you impact the girl, you impact her future children. So this year I took another project um, to the meeting. Unfortunately, our friends Elaine Mattioli, which is the HR director of Thermomecanica, Salvador Arena Foundation. This year, our project was taken to Turkey, and this is a voluntary work. So we went to uh, Fundação Salvador Arena and trained 35 uh, grade school teachers in terms of coaching skills, and they are revolutionizing everything there. And we took this project done jointly with those teachers. They created a project. They are already measuring this project, and we won the second prize, the second award in the whole world. Unfortunately, I didn't bring the little gift. See, I will transmit this to them. Will convey this, and I think she is following us online. The first award was for Indonesia, and they chose the public area, community leaders. They want to form just one leader per island. They have 1,170 islands, so they have not trained all of them, but they are deeply involved in this path. So this is part of the new life purpose of our school of Maryland and also here in Brazil. And an additional step that we decided in that meeting, we decided to take this measure is that we will be a plastic free school. So we are acting as if we were the AAA. We're Plastic Free Anonymous. And by the end of the day, we should say, oh, I spent 24 hours without plastic. Oh, it's so difficult. And so we eliminated plastic water bottles, plastic glasses, and we're taking step by step. We are starting a world counter that will count after every course we train how many bottles we did not use. So this is a little step within Marilyn's project, which is to help the planet uh, to get astray of that collision route. And it's much closer now to becoming irreversible. So I would like to invite each one of you, Marilyn, to watch Marilyn's video. And then the second video that we will start